The historic discovery of oil by Shell Oil Company in 1921 transformed Signal Hill almost overnight from a tranquil area with a few hilltop mansions, small ranches and homes, into an oil boom town covered with oil drilling derricks and pumps. In only 2 short years, nearly 300 wells had created such a forest of oil derricks that Signal Hill was famously referred to as Porcupine Hill. By the end of 1980, the Long Beach field had produced over 900 million barrels, making Signal Hill one of the most productive fields per acre the world has ever known. Today, Signal Hill is again a thriving and tranquil area, with an emphasis on economic development, economic diversity, and residential development for more than 11,000 residents, all while continuing robust oil exploration and drilling activities. The successful integration of oil operations coexisting with lovely hillside homes, public parks, panoramic views, and major businesses is due in no small part to the efforts and vision of this year's Entrepreneur of the Year, Craig Barto, President and CEO of Signal Hill Petroleum Incorporated. Craig and his father, Jerry Barto, purchased the Signal Hill oil fields in the early 1980s from Shell Oil Company.
We got in the oil business back in 1979 when I bought a piece of property in Costa Mesa, California. And I was going to build some apartments on it or condominiums or something like that. And had these old oil wells on it. And the deal was that they were going to take the oil wells out, clean up the oil field, and then I'd build apartments on it. Didn't work out that way because something happened, the Six-Day War, and oil went from $7 or $8 a barrel to 35, and all of a sudden, well, maybe we should take a look at these old oil wells and see if we can do something with them.
And my father and I decided, let's try going in business together. And my job was to, how do we get some oil out of this that can make some money while we're doing the entitlement project?
Pretty soon we had a viable oil field, and we were Barto Oil, and we're in the oil business.
And what they did was they returned the wells to production very successfully, drilled more oil wells, and expanded their holdings in the company into the Long Beach Signal Hill oil field, which has become a major asset for our company today.
It was an exciting challenge to learn about oil. I'd grown up with real estate, but the Shah of Iran had just been kicked out by Khomeini. Oil prices were going sky high, gas lines were forming all over the country, and oil became very, very important. We then drilled some wells, made a decision, let's not even do the housing development for now, because America was short oil. Threats of oil embargoes, it was a huge national cry, we need America's oil.
Craig Barto is the kind of hard-pushing guy that's going to make sure America has the energy it needs to prosper. He's also going to make sure that we develop our resources right here at home so that Long Beach and the rest of this area can have the resources that we need to provide the services to our own people.
One of Craig's greatest strengths and abilities is to think outside of the box. He can see opportunities that many other people wouldn't see in a particular project, be it a real estate development or some kind of another business deal or the possibility of something related to our oil operations.
But the real estate and the oil truly does go together, because the land, the elbow room needed for oil exploration, as you're into oil development and oil production, it can easily coexist with buildings, with homes, and we were able to prove that.
What we have done locally is to pioneer what we believe is a unique concept that real estate development, oil and gas extraction, expansion of oil and gas extraction can coexist together. They don't have to be mutually exclusive, and we have pioneered and developed many residential and commercial projects locally.
Very exciting to take technology that was impossible 5-10 years ago. There's an amazing next few decades to develop what we are just now scratching the surface of.
and we've invested heavily to create new technology to be able to image and better understand this major asset, and that new technology we're applying right now through seismic imaging, in the greater Long Beach area.
Craig is a great father, and he gave my wife Jan and me 5 wonderful grandchildren. And actually 2 of them work here with us at Signal Hill, Amanda and Brady. All we are is the people that work with us and work for us. They don't work for us, they work with us. And we're fortunate to have an incredible team of people. And Craig leads that team.
When oil prices plummeted in 1984, thousands of oil companies went out of business.
And fortunately, we had real estate. And that real estate, we were able to work with the City of Signal Hill in developing 450 homes over the last dozen years and several shopping centers.
The Hill has developed unbelievably in the last 21 years. Craig has been a driving force behind that. With his knowledge and with his dad, when they bought Signal Hill Petroleum or developed Signal Hill Petroleum, they bought the land rights also. And that housing development you see behind me was part of that dream. And it has made a wonderful Signal Hill. Looking at the Gateway complex that they built with Home Depot and with the Pet Mark and the new Dollar Tree, that's a whole development that none of us would have expected on that west side of the city.
We as a company are also very active at both the local, of course, state and federal levels, working with California Independent Petroleum Association and with Independent Petroleum Association of America out of Washington, D.C. They are doing a great job in helping protect the independent oil producer. We drill about 80% of the wells in the United States, and we produce over half the oil and gas in the United States. So there's a huge role that's played by the small guys.
You know, being an entrepreneur has a lot of responsibilities. It's not only required to be a good business person, but you're also supposed to be a good corporate citizen. And I think that Craig Barto exemplifies what good corporate citizenship is. You can hardly go to an event, be it a charitable event or a civic event, without Craig or one of the representatives of Signal Hill Petroleum being there. He's a person of integrity, he's a person of intelligence, and more than anything, he's a person of compassion for the communities in which he does business.
We care about our community, about the environment that we're in. Our workplace, for many people, that's their backyard. And it's very, very important to our company in the long term and obviously the near term. And it's critical to our ability to keep growing, to be a better company, to be the best neighbor that we can possibly be.
I am proud of my dad for setting such a great example on how important it is to get involved in our communities. I look forward to continuing his legacy in philanthropy on behalf of Signal Hill Petroleum.
There's so many great programs here in Long Beach and Signal Hill that need the help of corporations and people, so choosing them is a very difficult task, but Amanda and I get the fun part, which is the ones that we are able to support, we get to be involved closely with. And some of those programs are Movies in the Park, here for Long Beach Parks, Rec, and Marine, but that's where we show free movies throughout the summer for families in parks in Long Beach and in Signal Hill. Another is Concerts in the Park for the City of Signal Hill. And that's kind of the same thing, but it's a concert series shown in Signal Hill Parks where you see, again, families, friends, and kids having dinner and dancing to great music. And there's so many other smaller programs that make a difference that we really enjoy being a part of. And again, I feel grateful to be part of a company that strongly supports giving back and making a difference in people's lives.
I wish we had many more people like Craig. I wish we had many more companies like Signal Hill Petroleum. They're always there when you need them, and he's the best example I know of good corporate citizenship.